What's up? It is week 4. We had as a collective, a pretty bad week 3. I think Gerson did okay, but CeeDee Lamb kind of killed us. But the good thing about DFS is we can do it again the next week. So we're going to do that next. We're going to give you our top plays at every position. So hang tight.
Going for 2, kickers are extra, I give them the boot. Ooh, going for 2, sit back, relax while I grab me a brew. Ooh, now I'm reclining while putting my time and I'm ready to go. My spine is aligning and much my lineups, my bank account grow. I am so rich, but knowledge is all that I'm leaving it with. Ooh, listen to this, multiple options, how far can I get? Ooh, DFS Dynasty redraft tonight, I'm not finishing last. I'm finishing past any and all, I am looking to last. What else? This spot is popping and I am so locked in and only opening the door when it is opportunity knocking. And all of these spots keep on talking and talking. So what are we talking? What kind of alignment? And running it deep, even players forgotten or came from the bottom or hitting that top. And this spot is popping, yeah, this spot is popping. And woo! This is the armchair, yeah. Put up your arms, yeah. Sound the alarm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo!
What is going on, and welcome to episode 433 of the Armchair Fantasy Show. I'm your host, of course, Geoff Lambert. Find me on Twitter at Geoff Lambert77. I just noticed that I still have my I Am No Podcast screen up there, which we literally just did a show right before this show. So I'll get that fixed here pretty quickly. Me and my daughter do a Star Wars podcast, if you didn't know. We just finished up doing that, so I'll get that changed. But I'm here with my two co-hosts tonight. First up, we got G, who's a little bit sick tonight. So make sure you stay tuned for the sick call. Because whenever Gerson is sick, his sick call is always sick, for lack of a better word. G, what's up, man?
What up? What up? Pretty exciting slate. I mean, we kind of have a 4K quarterback. So another 4K week. So we'll see. I mean, I'm actually more excited to play this 4K quarterback than any other 4K quarterback we played this year. So,
yeah, I agree. I think he's pretty exciting for sure. Tim, what's up, man?
Yeah, I think you said it all earlier, man. Shake off week 3, move on to week 4, win all the money this week, man. I was telling y'all in the pre-show, I feel good about this week. Got a good handle on it.
Good stuff. We already got people in the chat. What's up, Scott? Glad you can join us. If the chat gets popping, I'll make sure to share it on screen here. So if you're in the chat, just give us a shout out, and I can get them on screen. All right, we'll just kick it right off with the rewind.
The weekly rewind. Rewind.
All right, Tim, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so my one good was Nico Collins. I was all over Nico last week. He was easily the best play I think I really had last week. The lineups that cash pretty much all had Nico in them. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And my one bad was Bijan Robinson. He wasn't actually that bad, but I thought he was going to absolutely smash. So I had him in like 50% of my lineups. And I think he only had 16 points or so. So not great. But we're going to cover like you said, the other one bad here in a minute.
Yeah, for sure. And Joe saying that you're using some Rogaine, looking like a chia pet out here.
No.
And G was supposed to shave, but unfortunately he forgot because he's a little under the weather. But he said he'll do it for us next week because he lost his bet last week.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
What's your one good, one bad, G?
My one good was Caleb Williams. I had a lot of exposure there that Cowboy game, so I ran it back with Caleb Williams. Unfortunately, my one bad was on the other side. It was CeeDee Lamb, and I'm pretty sure the whole industry felt that pain when you saw him get hit. He didn't even get hurt playing. He just got rolled on.
Yeah.
Stepped on, so it sucks. I think that's some reason sometimes I like to pick 'em sites, injuries, reboot. But on DFS, you don't get injury reboot. You just get a badass 0.
You get a big old 0 for sure. Yeah, I had CeeDee Lamb in my cash lineup too, which absolutely killed me. So it wasn't a good week 3 for me. Whenever my cash lineup doesn't hit, typically it's a bad week for me. So my one
quick shout out to Underdog real quick for voiding all of my CeeDee Lamb, so I actually cashed some of those slips. So
yeah, shout out to the sponsor Underdog for sure. My one good was Jonathan Taylor. He absolutely beasted touchdowns. What more can you say? This guy has been awesome so far this year. As long as he can stay healthy, that team is playing amazing right now, and Taylor's a big part of that. So definitely was good for Taylor. Wish I had more exposure to him. And then my one bad really was actually three bads. It was my stack of the week. Carson Wentz, Jay Jettas, and Jamar Chase. Did not work out the way I thought. I thought you guys would be targeted to hell, and it just didn't work out that way. The Vikings just jumped out at a huge lead. Kept turning the ball over. The Bengals did, and it was just an ugly game in general overall. The only player there that was any good was Jordan Mason. All right, it is time to get to the quarterbacks.
Let's talk quarterbacks.
And right off the top,
Lock it in.
So I was telling these guys pre-show that I was having a really hard time figuring out who my lock was. There's some couple obvious ones. I didn't want to go with the obvious ones, and we don't usually pick lock of the week quarterback. So I figured, you know what, I'm gonna be a little bit different this week and go with a lock of the week at quarterback. And I'm going with Justin Herbert at the New York Giants at 6.3. Coming into the season, we thought this would be a run-first team, and I think they still want to run. They just haven't in the first 3 weeks. I think he's got a game where he's thrown over 40 passes already, throwing the ball all over the field. I think all his receivers are viable. You got Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnston, who we thought we had given up on, has been balling. And, Ladd McConkey, who was the popular fantasy player, is kind of the third man out right now. And he's doing pretty decent. But against the Giants, great matchup at 6.3. Some good stacking options. You can even go with Amarian Hampton if you want, because he got 6 or 7 targets last week as well. So I think this is going to be a good game. I think they have the second highest implied total, I believe, at 25.5 points. So again, a game that you're going to want to kind of target. And the Giants are bottom 10 in DVP versus the quarterback position. So I love Justin Herbert this week for sure. All right, Tim, what do you got for one of your top plays?
Yeah, I was just going to say on Herbert, you must have seen on pass rate over expectations on my thread, right? That the Chargers are number 1 in PROE. I'm going to go with Lamar. I really like Lamar Jackson this week. I think that they were kind of embarrassed by Detroit at home, and they get a much better matchup here against Kansas City. I think that they're going to roll Kansas City this week. And you're going to hear I'm going to recommend a lot of Ravens because I really do think they are that late game hammer kind of play here. Like you said, they have one of the higher implied totals on the slate. And I'm going to start right there with Lamar. So we know he can get it done through the air. He's already had a 4-touchdown game. He can get it done with his legs, get you that bonus on the ground. I'm going to have a lot of exposure to this game. I think it's going to go overall pretty under-owned, which I always like to see, particularly on a late slate.
Yeah, I think
you're going to hear I'm going to recommend a lot of the late games this week, by the way. I love the late slate this week.
Good stuff. Yeah, I think the problem I had with this game, and I'm going to mention one of the other guys in this game, but the stacking options are a little bit difficult, especially on the Chiefs side of things, right? Like we have no idea Patrick Mahomes is going to be targeting. Even Lamar, I think, it could be Zay Jones one week. He's got Bateman, got Mark Andrews. It seems to be a different guy every week, but he's always got his legs, and that puts him on fantasy radar at all times. So
absolutely
love it. Gerson, what you got for one of your favorite plays?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Caleb Williams against the Raiders. You're going to hear me talk about this game quite a bit. It's going to be like last week. But Caleb Williams, I mean, he's not like when you watch him play football, it's like looks ugly. But I don't care how ugly you look, as long as my fantasy points look pretty,
Yeah.
So, the Raiders are one of the best matchups you can have, especially against the cover 3 defense. Caleb's going to tear that apart, especially with Ndunze, the way he's been playing, and the way, it looks much better, right? The offense, way better. And, I mean, it's still warranted that the price went up on Ndunze, though. So for you to do the stack, you're actually going to pay a little more than what you usually do. But Caleb Williams' value at his price is pretty reasonable. So I'm going to have a lot of exposure to him, 5.8K. And right now he's actually coming in that's the good thing about this week. You won't see all the quarterbacks are kind of like not like too highly owned. separated.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, if one quarterback goes off, then he's gonna jump the tier of all of them, you know. And I love Caleb
Yeah.
Williams versus the Raiders defense. Apparently, I missed the memo. I guess the Raiders defense isn't good.
Yeah, that's a good. I like Caleb Williams a lot too. At 5.8, still a really good price tag for him. And Ben Johnson, right? We expected them to be very creative on offense, and through the first couple of games, he wasn't very creative. And then this past week, he took the wheels off of Caleb. You know, they're doing like flea flickers and all kinds of stuff. I had
No,
a set.
the slowest flea flicker you will ever see.
Ever
I was
see.
like, "What is that, dude?"
Yeah.
DeAndre
That
Swift
was
looked like
embarrassing.
he looked like you remember the movie Little Giant when the kid gets the
Yes.
ball, he's like,
Yeah.
and he goes, like
That's
that,
exactly what that was.
Yeah, he's sitting there watching the ball, and you can know he's like, the guys are getting ready to hit me. I'm about to get the ball. Please hurry up and get to me, for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go with the guy on the opposite side of that Ravens game there and go Patrick Mahomes. I mean, when's the last time we got Mahomes at $6,000? It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
impossible to get him that low. Highest total on the slate, as we mentioned. And Ravens, that defense is renowned, but they haven't been great this year. They're allowing the third most points to quarterbacks this year. The only issue I have with Mahomes is who are you stacking him with? Is it Tyquan Thornton? Is it Travis Kelce? Xavier Worthy's going to be back to play. You really don't know who you're picking in that offense to stack them with, but I think Mahomes at $6,000 is worth the shot. Maybe you do a couple different stacks if you're playing multiple lineups and pick one of each guy. Maybe you just take two of the guys and hope this game really shoots out. So I like him at 6K. I'll just mention the other two guys that we had in the top. We had, of course, Josh Allen. Obviously great matchup there. And then Geno Smith at 5.4, who I believe, last I checked, might be leading the NFL in passing yards, if I'm mistaken. If not, he's in the top three. So I've thrown the ball all over the field. Just not throwing it to the guys we want him to throw it to. It's going to Tucker, who we didn't expect in the beginning of the season, but that's all right. All right, moving down into the value tier, Tim. What do you got for one of your value guys?
Well, you just talked about one of them, but I'm going to go with Drake May. Talking about a team that has a much higher pass rate than we expected this year. It's the New England Patriots, and I feel like Drake May, in a lot of ways, trying to do it all himself. He's running a lot more than he was in the past. He gets an excellent matchup here at home against the Panthers. They kind of blew out their division rival Falcons last week at home, and now they have to go on a road game to the Patriots. Yeah, I think this looks like a great spot for the Patriots. The only thing that concerns me about Drake May is if like all the touchdowns are on the ground,
Yeah.
right? But I think he's hard to stack with, which is why I kind of like him more as a cash game quarterback. But well, obviously his best stacking option is his tight end, and we'll talk about him more later. But yeah, I really like Drake May. I think he's underpriced. I think there's a lot of value in those mid 5K quarterbacks, Geno, Drake May, and Caleb. And I think that's where most of my exposure is coming from this week.
Yeah, I agree. I think May. Well, he was the first one that kind of stood out to me. I haven't put out my DraftKings dollar menu graphic yet, but I will be. And Drake May will be the quarterback on the dollar menu at 5.5. I like him a lot. Gerson, you have a guy that on your list there that I put question marks behind because I wasn't quite sure how I thought about him, but you have him as a value. So why don't you talk up Jackson Dart a little bit?
Yeah, Jackson Dart. I had Jackson Dart as the number 2 best quarterback in this draft class. I had him over Shedeur Sanders, anybody else but Cam Ward. And to be honest, I was not all that impressed with Cam Ward either. So, and so far he's on pace for 85 sacks. Good job, Cam Ward. But no, Jackson Dart, this guy's he looks like he's going to war. Every time you put a camera on him on the sideline, he looks like he just wants to go in there. He's hungry, you know. And Dable basically going all in. He knows his job's on the line. He knows this is it and everything. And Dart's 4.5K. One of the biggest things that I like about Jackson Dart is that he can run. And the Chargers allowed the fourth most schedule adjusted fantasy points per game against quarterback on the ground. And it's +3. Like if whatever the average, it's +3. So Dart, if you can get that rushing upside along with he gets a touchdown and 200 yards, and then he gets 40 yards rushing. I mean, he's hitting value already. I mean, You're looking for 15 to 16 points from him. Me personally, I want 20, but yeah, in GPP. And the other thing is Wandale Robinson would be a great stack with him. I know everybody's going to go to Malik Neighbor, but I actually like Wandale Robinson a lot more because of the matchup, the slot funnel, But
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting game, and you can bring it back, So you can bring it back pretty easily in that game. I mean, we have Keenan Allen. What's his name? Quentin
Or
Johnson.
even if you think it's be if the Patriots, I'm sorry, the Patriots, the Chargers are winning this game, you could bring it back with maybe Omari and Hampton if they're running the ball, and then the Giants are getting it trying to pass the ball a ton. You can definitely see that game script going that way as well. I like it. I'll mention the last guy that I have, and then we'll get to tight ends. I have, of course, Indiana Jones, Danny Dimes, looking pretty legit right now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they've only punted once so far this season. They pretty much scored on every other single drive at 5.6. Tough matchup versus the Rams, but he's played some tough teams already and looked pretty good doing it. And Pittman's kind of had a revival. He's got his tight end, Tyler Warren, that's been showing up as a rookie. Even Josh Downs is getting into the mix. It looks really good there in Indiana. I mean, in Indianapolis, and of course he's got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, which doesn't hurt as well. So I love Daniel Jones this week at 5.6. All right, tight ends.
Did somebody say tight ends?
All right, Tim, I'm gonna go to you first here because you got a couple guys that I like. One of them I didn't put on my list, but then I noticed that looking at the flow chart, he kind of fit. I don't know if you're going to talk about him or not, but if you don't, I will. Go ahead and give me your thoughts here on your top tight end.
Well, I think more than anything, it's an ugly tight end slate, from my opinion. I mean, tight end's usually pretty ugly, but this week, sometimes we'll each have like 6 or 7 guys. Pull back the curtain. I have 4 and you have 3. Like, it's ugly. So I'm going to take the guy that neither of y'all had, and I'm going with Sam Laporta. I think that game will go super under-owned. We mentioned the Bills have the highest over-under at 32. The highest team total at 32. Second is the Lions at home, 27. And the stat I had on Laporta was that since the start of last season, he ranks only behind A.J. Brown and Puka Nacua in terms of fantasy points per route run against man coverage, and that Cleveland has out the most man coverage. So I think he'll go super under-owned. This whole game will. But at 4,400, man, I'm going to have a lot of Sam Laporta this week.
Yeah, I like Sam Laporta as well. I didn't like him originally, but then the more and more I looked at it, I was kind of like, oh, I can see where this might fit. And definitely like Sam Laporta. Gerson, what do you got for one of your top guys?
Yeah, give me Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, he hasn't
He's
looked
back, baby.
all that healthy, but he's still a top tight end. And the thing is, like, the price tag is actually reasonable, 5.8K. I do want a little bit more value opening up this weekend, though. Value is not like incredible this week, but there's a lot of mid-tier plays you can make it work with, But give me Brock Bowers playing the Bears. They run a lot of cover 2 high look, and that basically means that, or Chip Kelly is smart and gets his head out of his, what. He'll run a lot of mesh routes and concept, to get him underneath. And I'm looking for a reception. I don't think he's going to have a big yard game, but he will get a lot of peppered with target. And Geno plays a lot better at home. I mean, his first home game was great.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really – Geno's just slinging it. He don't care. He got his contract, 2-year deal, $50 million or something like that. I can't remember. But give me Bowers, 5.8K against the Bears. I mean, I expect this game to kind of shoot out. I'm actually really excited for this game. So, and not just as a Raiders fan, as a player, as a fantasy player, a DFS player, underdog player, and whatnot.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you, as a Packers fan, I'll certainly be cheering for the Raiders. That's for damn sure. But I'll just say it was really nice to see Brock Bowers get 3 full practices this week, right? Officially off the injury report. So he's going to be out there, especially with Mayer out. He's going to be running every route. So, yeah, if ever I was going to go all in on Bowers, it's a great week.
Yeah, I love it. And I was trying to find the stat while you were talking to him about Sam Laporta, and I couldn't find it immediately, but I just found it. Detroit is dead last in DVOA versus the tight end. Right, Carolina. Right behind them is Miami. So two teams that are pretty terrible, and Detroit is dead last, worse than even those two teams. So that's why I like Laporta a lot. Last guy we'll go with here is Hunter Henry versus Carolina at 4K. I think Hunter Henry is a top 3 tight end in fantasy right now. I think he might even be tight end 1 at this point because he's just been balling out. We mentioned Drake May in the last segment, and he's targeting the hell out of Henry. He's their red zone option. He's their blanket. He's their third down guy. And at 4K, he's still in a very good price point where you can afford him, especially if you're stacking him with May, because May's only 5.5, so it makes it a very easy stack. So I love me some Hunter Henry. And then Gerson, I want you to talk about the last guy on the list there that you have, Tyler Warren. I had him on my list as well, but this guy's been balling out. He's having a hell of a year for a tight end rookie.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler Warren, I mean, I think last week I said something like 5 yards. He was the only one. Well, now he's leading the league in reception for tight end, right? So, I mean, a rookie, he's basically doing what Brock Bowers did last year. So, his price hasn't gone up that much either. 4.6K. That's, I mean, you can probably get the same game outcome from Tyler Warren that you get from Bowers, So it's 4.8K, and Danny Dime keep targeting him. Smart, very smart. But they also, another thing that I liked about him is that his anytime touchdown is at plus 225. And that's actually pretty interesting for a tight end. I'm like, I like that. I like what I'm looking at. And in this game, I think it's going to be competitive. I don't think either one of these teams is going to go away with it. It should be a competitive game. I do worry about Taylor, obviously. He always takes a lot of the workload, but it's been working that's how they've been moving the offense, Warren and Taylor. I mean, you get a little sprinkle of Downs and Pittman, but Pittman's been stepping it up lately. But give me Tyler Warren, 4,800. This guy getting 4,600. He's gonna be at 5.8K, 5K shortly.
Yeah, probably next week he'll be in that 5K range for sure. We also had
Roto Grinders has Tyler Warren as most likely to end up in the optimal lineup, by the way.
Oh wow, yeah, that's definitely a good point there. So we had Juwan Johnson as the other top favorite play for Gerson. We're going to go ahead and kick off the value tier, which we really only have 2 guys. Me and Gerson have the same guy, and then Tim, you have one guy we don't have. So talk about Kyle Pitts.
I'll never play Kyle Pitts.
I think this is I think it's really tough. I think this is an ugly tight end week. I only put Kyle Pitts because I think this is going to be a bounce back game for the Falcons in general. They got embarrassed last week against Panthers, and now they get a home game against the Commanders. I almost said it, by the way. And so, I think I want all kinds of exposure to this game, different pieces. But I think he's actually getting fairly reasonable volume. People think, he's not seeing the ball, but I think he's got 15 targets at least on the year. So, I think he's a low-owned option. And again, tight end's really ugly this week.
Yeah, for sure. Me and Gerson both had Harold Fannin for Cleveland at 3.7, still underpriced. Still getting a good amount of targets. Not quite as much as he was early in the season. The Joker's kind of come on a little bit lately.
He's going to need to get targets in this game for sure, though. I don't think that Browns off defense is going to stop the Lions offense. They stopped some pretty good offense, but, it's just through the run game.
Yeah, agreed.
So, right. Geoff, you said earlier you like Patrick Mahomes. How do you feel about Travis Kelce?
So that's the tough thing I've been debating, right? I don't know if I want to play Travis because if I'm playing Patrick Mahomes, it's GPP, and I think GPP I want the big play. It's probably Tyquan Thornton for me. I want that big play ability, and Travis Kelce has just been kind of a plotter. He catches a couple passes here and there. He'll be getting some decent points, but he hasn't been GPP winning type tight end. So I think I'm going to pass.
Oh, wow.
And aim for the upside in Tyquan Thornton, or maybe I even go Xavier Worthy. All right, let's move into the running backs.
It's time for running backs. Running backs.
Go ahead and kick it.
Lock it in.
We got 2 locks at the running back position, and Tim, you got the first one here.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that Bills have the highest implied total on the slate at 32. We always talk about our favorite running backs to play, our home favored, right? Especially massive favorites. It's James Cook week, baby. I can't wait. This dude has been smashing it all year long, and he's still priced like kind of in the mid tier there at 7,100. So he's 1,400 cheaper than McCaffrey, 1,100 cheaper than Bijan Robinson, and I think he's got the best kind of matchup situation of any of them. So he's going to be probably my highest exposed running back. I mean, I think we all have, CMC on the list, and he's a great play. But the guy that I'm going to get different with this week, or at least a little bit, he's still going to be fairly owned, but I'm probably going to double the field in terms of ownership on James Cook this week. In
Yeah.
these games where they're implied to win by a ton, he usually has great games. Like I think he averaged 28 points where they've won by 10 or more. So, yeah, we know the Saints are terrible. We saw what Seattle did to them last week.
Yeah.
It's James Cook week.
And James Cook right now is only 7.6% owned on RotoGrinders currently. He's way down the list. He's behind Travion Henderson.
Yep.
And Chuba Hubbard behind
I
Tolly.
think that having the two cheap guys we're going to talk about here in a minute is real, and then everybody wants to play CMC, and then the two cheap guys. So his ownership's going to be way lower than I think it should be.
Yep, agreed. All right, I'll give you your drop, Gerson.
Lock it in.
Yeah, I think before the show we were talking about that there was no for sure thing like, oh, I'm confident all the way. I was kind of shocked you guys said that because I feel way confident on Omari and Hampton. This guy is a rookie running back, but he really needed the opportunity, right? We wanted to see the opportunity. We saw it last week. He got 26 touches. I like the matchup this week. Giants have allowed the second most schedule adjusted fantasy points per game to running back at plus 6.8, and 57% of that rush attempt come from a man gap concept, and they allow the fourth most. The other thing is the Chargers, they actually run the second highest success rate against that at 68%. So the matchup, the price on Hampton, I do expect heavy ownership. I think it's going to change before Sunday. I think right now he's coming in at...
He's number 3 right now,
22%. But people are going to realize that they don't really have a lot of value out there. you know?
And they have another guy number 1 that I don't think will be number 1 by Sunday.
Agreed. But,
yeah, give me Hampton. I expect him to get a lot of workload, and you can use him in a stack with Herbert too. I think he's a good pass catching running back too. So it's exciting. It's an exciting week for running back rookies this week. So yeah.
Yep. And the guy that Tim was talking about being number 1 in the ownership is a guy that I'm going to mention simply because he is in the top percentage owned currently. And at 6.2, he's worth a shot in a GPP, and that's Ashton Jeanty, who's been disappointing so far this year. I think a lot of it has to do with that bad offensive line. But at 6.2 against Chicago, there is a chance that this is his breakout game. And like I said, he is currently the highest owned as far as RotoGrinders goes, owned running back. So, it may change by Sunday, but I do think Jeanty has a chance here to have a little breakout game. Let's go back through the tops here. We still got some guys we haven't talked about, and Tim, I want you to go talk about King Henry there because he's had some issues with fumbling, but he's been balling out.
Yes, I mentioned it in the Lamar part that I think, this is a little bit narrative. James Cook is the stats, right? All the stats say James Cook is a great play. King Henry is definitely the narrative play. He's fumbled in 3 straight games and now gets some matchups against the Chiefs, which he has absolutely owned in the past. And they are much weaker against the run than they are the pass. So I think they're going to lean heavily on him this week, give him a chance to, kind of break loose and kind of win the game for him and, wipe out those feelings from that Detroit game last week. Because, we saw him on the sideline. Like, we talk about narratives. Derrick Henry slamming his helmet down on the sideline. He's going to come back for this game. And I love when I see Derrick Henry like 10th in ownership. Those are my favorite weeks.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody wants to play him. He's got all this narrative around him that he's washed. He's losing it. He's still Derrick fucking Henry. Okay.
Yeah.
So if anybody's going to drop 44 in an afternoon slate, his name's not Christian McCaffrey, I'm going with Derrick Henry.
And it would be disrespect if I didn't hit the drop for him. All right, yeah, King Henry, definitely a top play there. Gerson, you got two more guys we haven't mentioned. Pick one of those guys to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, so to me, I'm gonna do it every week. Christian McCaffrey, but I think Jonathan Taylor
Absolutely.
is incredible right now. He is. If you look at his usage, it's on another level. It's higher than CMC level. I mean, and he's 7,500. I mean, I thought he was gonna. I never look at prices till like almost the end of the week. I mean, I do my research and then start putting in a name today. And when I saw 7,500, I was like, wow, something's wrong. What is up with DK? You know, I think he deserves to be the highest owned running back, to be honest. And I'm gonna have a lot of exposure to him. Like I said, I expect this game to stay competitive. I don't expect it to be a blowout. A 3.5 underdog, you know. And then basically Jonathan Taylor when he averaged only 14 fantasy points per game in losses over the last 3 seasons, but in wins he averaged 19.5. So he's getting 81% of snap shares. I mean, he's the second. He's everybody would say CMC is the best, right? Obviously, but I think Jonathan Taylor this year is probably he could have an MVP season, man.
Yep.
If they keep feeding him the ball like that, and he's knock on wood, stays healthy. I mean, the way he's getting the ball and usage, I'm gonna have. I'm tempted to say at least 35% exposure to him, and that's a lot in GPP, by the way.
Yeah.
150 rosters. I mean, 35% of your. I mean, I either try to keep it at 25 to 20 with running back, but I'm gonna up that, and hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass because 3.5 underdog. That's the only thing that scared me, but you can easily see them winning this game. I don't think it.
I think the underdog part of it is just that they're still not getting the respect, right? People they're still not believing in that team quite yet. And I agree. I think he's just been balling out and his usage is off the charts. So for sure, I think Jonathan Taylor. The other guy you had, Bijan Robinson, 8.2, is in play as well against a banged up Commanders team. We'll move down into the value tier, and I'll go next here, and I'll take Travion Henderson, who I think this could be the week that he gets the workload. We saw Ramondre Stevenson and Gibson last week. Between the two of them, they fumbled 3 times. And these are two guys that have had fumbling issues in their career. I mean, I think last year Stevenson lost his job essentially by fumbling so much, had 4 straight games where he fumbled. Fumbled again last week, fumbled at the goal line. One of the worst things you could do, fumbling at the goal line. So I think Henderson at 5.2 versus Carolina, who was one of the worst run defenses all of last year. They've improved a little bit this year, but not too much. I think he gets a good workload, and he gets plenty of targets out of the backfield. So a 5.2, I love me some Travion Henderson this week.
He got 11 carries like right after those fumbles too.
Yep.
So, he got all his touches. Like they fed him the ball. I'm really hoping for a big Travion Henderson week because, well, Geoff, maybe just let me know real quick. I made a trade. Drake London and I traded away Cam Cadabu and Jalen Waddle for Drake London and Travion Henderson.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, I take that.
And I hate Jalen Waddle because he always gets hurt, so I didn't want to deal with that stuff on my fantasy team. I'm like, I'm done with you, dude.
And I think London. We talked about this on my Wednesday show. London came up as a topic, and I think he's gonna get it back. I think he's just struggling early on. I think he's gonna get back and be healthy and start putting some points up. So yeah, Drake London for sure. All right, Tim, give me one of your values.
Yeah, well, we talked about the other two guys, so might as well talk about Scadaboo, right? Like, I think that's the decision this week is whether or not you want to play Scadaboo and Hampton, right? Because then you're probably playing CMC, and those are your 3 spots, right? But I really like him. I think it's a good spot. The Chargers are actually pretty tough against the run, but one is they're actually bottom 6 in terms of yards after contact, which really benefits his game. We saw J.K. Dobbins actually have a decent game against them. So I think that he could, it's benefit that it's his home, right? So I think that, he's going to get all the work. Like, I don't think that they're They're gonna get what is his name, Devin Singletary, like
Yeah.
old motor, get 5 carries in this game or something. But otherwise, it's the Cam show. So at 5,500, I think a lot of these low price running backs have really worked for us this year, and it just works. Lineups look too easy when you do Hampton plus Scadaboo. So that
Yeah.
might be the way that I go probably in cash this week. We'll still see how I can mess it up before Sunday.
He's so
Well,
fun to watch play too. Like
absolutely, yeah. I think I put a tweet out on the game last week that, and this is probably before your time, but y'all remember He-Man and they had that guy Ram Man, where he would just like ram his head into everything. That
oh
is
yeah. The guy that runs through walls and stuff.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude. Like
no, but
that's the way
I
you.
got something for you though.
Tim's pulling out props here.
He reminds me of this guy.
Oh yeah,
I'm
there
the
you go.
Juggernaut, right? That's kind of who
Yeah.
Cam Scadaboo is. He's the Juggernaut.
Yeah, Juggernaut. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I mean, and he has good hands too. So,
Yep.
it's exciting. I mean, it's an exciting time to have rookie running backs right now. I mean, it wasn't 2 weeks ago. I'll tell you that much. Everybody was freaking out.
Yep, they sure were.
That's true. Yeah, right. Genty, Hampton, Scadaboo, and
Junkin.
Hendo. Like it's rookie time. And we didn't even talk about Judkins. Yeah.
Yeah, I got Judkins on my list here at Detroit. Obviously, a tough matchup, but is getting a good workload. And at 5.5 in a GPP, if you need a pivot off those other guys that are going to be higher owned, I do like Judkins as well at 5.5. So he is one that I just wanted to put out there. All right, we're getting to the wide receivers.
And now, wide receivers.
All right, we didn't have a lock of the week at receiver, I think, for the first time all year. But the top guy on all three of our lists, Puka Nacua. And Tim, I'll let you talk about him.
Yeah, he is. He's like the opposite of a free square, but I feel like he is a lock. We all have him as a lock. Like we didn't want to take the layup here, but my lineups basically come pre-configured with Puka. Last week I messed up a little bit by going a little too heavy on CeeDee Lamb, but I'm gonna keep riding the Puka train. This is a great matchup, as Gerson said. This is the game of the week, highest over under of the week. And honestly, I think that they can more easily move the ball against Indy in the slot. Their slot corner, Kenny Moore, is out, which I think greatly benefits Puka. And Adams is a little banged up. He's got a hamstring. And that's one thing I never like to see on receivers. I think he'll be okay, but I do think that it's going to be a heavy Puka week. While he's under 8K, I'm going to keep taking advantage. He's just, like you said, he should be preloaded into your lineups unless you're really trying to get different from the field.
Agreed. Gerson, what you got for one of your top plays?
Yeah, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going with it's probably he should be a mid-tier play, but I'm just gonna call him my top play. Rome Odunze against the Raiders. I don't like I said, the Raiders' pass defense is pretty awful. And Odunze, I mean, Odunze is gonna be like, every year we have those rookie wide receivers that blow out, and then but last year he didn't get that hype, right? I mean, look at the offense he was in. I mean, it was a nightmare, right? This is his breakout season right here. This is his time. I mean, I would not be shocked if DJ Moore gets traded at the trade deadline. But Odunze is 6.3K, but I'm gonna find a way to get him in there. I think he's proven it week in and week out that he is the alpha. He is the guy. And I expect this game to have no defense. Dude, I got a burp, but excuse me. Yeah, I expect this game to shoot out. I don't know about what's called the Raiders being like the Cowboys offense. So I think the Raiders offense can keep up. Like they'll go back and forth. That Cowboys offense was pretty pathetic after CeeDee Lamb left. I mean, but I'm going back to this game, and I think this game it could be a lot of touchdowns, a lot of yards, and no defense. And the price is reasonable, like all over the place. Like you got Bauer, you got Myers, you got Odunze. I don't know how much of DJ Moore I have, and you also have Loser Burden. I think he can be a very cheap. You don't want to have too much exposure to him because I know he had that one play touchdown. I mean, the slowest flea flicker we ever seen, right? But he didn't practice the mini camp and stuff. And if that offense keep going, chugging along and whatnot, and we maybe 3 weeks ago we said, oh my gosh, Green Bay defense is amazing, which it is still. But we're like, oh, Bears suck, But yeah, I mean, we'll see what it looks like. And I think this game shoots out, man. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, one thing I was going to point out, and you talked about it a little bit, with the flow chart in Vegas is a 4 top 24 receiver games, and we've only played 3 games. So they've given up more receiver 1 or 2 games than they have games. So I think Adunze could add to that list at 6.
Both of them, by the way. Chicago and Vegas have both given up 4 wide receiver games. They're both on the flow chart.
Yeah, exactly. So that takes
that's it. I'm doing 150 rosters. Caleb, William, and Gino. That's it. The week is over, guys.
I wanted to
go.
That too. I was trying to find it and stall for a minute. So Dennis, friend of the show, Dennis, been on here a couple times.
Yep.
He put this stat out. The 2 teams that are worst at defending the deep ball this season are the Bears and the Raiders. The 2 teams that have thrown the most deep balls this season are the Bears and the Raiders. So it's going to be a fun game.
I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna put all the positional players that are like worth it, and I'm gonna put touchdown props on all of them in a pick 'em and do 6 parlay. That'd be funny if it hit, man.
That would be crazy. All right, I'm gonna give you my top play, and I had a deep dive and do some very, very scientific research on this guy to put him on the list. And the research is this: I have him in my home dynasty league, and in the last 2 seasons, every time I bench him, he balls out, and every time I start him, he duds. Well, this week I am benching him, and it is Zay Flowers at Kansas City at 6.7. Every time. Literally, I didn't start him week 1. He had 29 points. I started him the next 2 weeks, and he's been a dud. So it happened multiple times last year as well. So I'm benching him. So for that fact alone, he is definitely viable. Tim's already mentioned, starting Lamar Jackson. If you want to put Zay Flowers in there at 6.7 versus Kansas City, the fact that I have him on my bench, he's probably going to score 30 points this week. So that is my research on Zay Flowers. All right.
Back that up. My opponent in my home league also has Zay Flowers, and I feel like that's just a lot.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Just whenever I put him in, I swear, all my league mates make fun of me because even the guy I'm playing this week, he's like, I have Zay Flowers in 2 other leagues, man. I need you to bench him this week so he can ball out.
Yes.
All right, let's move down into the value tier, Tim. Who you got for your values?
I actually want to talk about one more guy on the high end because this guy will be basically unowned this week. And anytime this guy is unowned, I want some shares. And that's Jamison Williams. He is currently clocking in at 1.7% ownership, according to Roto Grinders, at 5,900. So, like I said, I think that this Lions game is going
to put it in.
This Lions game is going to go under-owned in general. I think people who do get ownership are going to be on either Gibbs or St. Brown or maybe Laporta. I think Jammo will go completely overlooked. And at 5,900, I think he fits nicely in the lineups this week. We've already seen him have a huge game 2 weeks ago. He's obviously much better at home and much better against man coverage. So I actually don't hate a Goff, Laporta, Jammo stack for super low ownership. And then you can just play all the chalk and,
I love
go from there.
I love it. I will mention a couple of other guys that are in the top tier that we didn't talk about. Malik Neighbors at 7,000 is his list. You also had Nico Collins, who you obviously had last week as well, and he did do what he's supposed to do at 7.4. So hopefully he can continue that route. All right, let's move down into the value tier. And you know what? I'll go first here, and I will take since JSN played last night.
The OG copy paste.
I'll take the old school copy paste. Mr. Keenan Allen, who is leading the Chargers right now in targets, had that ridiculous touchdown catch last week. He's still only 5.3 against the Giants. Keenan Allen is the man. I thought I replaced him with JSN, but Keenan Allen's like, hey, I'm still copy paste. You can still put me on the sheet every week because I'm still balling out. So I love Keenan Allen this week, and he's a good way to get cheap and get more guys in your lineup.
You got to pour a beer out for Lad McConkey. McConkey, whatever.
Absolutely.
Man.
Hey,
For Lad, man, that sucks for him. Like he's like, oh yeah, I'm the alpha, and then Keenan Allen comes and be like, hey brother, I've been here
Yep.
for 9 years or so. Let me show you something.
Let me show you how it's done.
it's the Mark Ingram with the Derrick Henry, right? Where he's like, I'm a slot receiver. And he's like, I'm a slot receiver. And he's like, okay, I'll play outside. You know what I mean?
Sure, for sure. Tim, what do you got for your value?
Yeah, I see. We didn't talk about, well, I don't know if you guys are talking about Drake London, but I'm going to actually go on the other side of that. And I'm going to go with Darnell Mooney at 4,700. He had 11 targets last week. And when I was looking at, as you know, after every slate, I do a breakdown of like who was in the top lineups. And one of the guys, obviously, who was in a lot of top lineups was Trey Tucker. And so I said, okay, why was he so successful against Washington? And a big reason is because basically the way they're schemed, they give up a lot of deep balls. And Darnell Mooney has the highest basically ADOT on the team. And added narrative to it, he also kind of messed up and his coach called him out. So at 4,700, I think he just sets up as such a good play this week. And I think almost everybody's going to pay $1,000 more for Drake London. So he's cheaper and will be much lower ownership. And I think he has a better schematic matchup.
I love it.
So I'll be heavily overexposed on Darnell Mooney this week.
Good deal. And Gerson, so you got two guys that are value level there, Drake London and Jacoby Myers. Which one do you want to talk about?
Well, I'll talk about. Wait, didn't Tim just talk about Drake London? Oh no, he said that he
went.
Yeah, I was going Mooney. Yeah.
Yeah, I got Drake London. I'm not gonna mention another Raiders, but you guys should already know Meyer, the great play, especially in this game environment. Yeah, Drake London, I think he's due for a bounce back game, just like Geoff said early on. But to be honest, I will not avoid the price. I mean, that 5.7K,
yeah,
that's gonna be the lowest he's gonna be all season. He's gonna get peppered with so much target this week. I mean, the Falcons are hearing the narrative. You know, that was a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be hungry. They're not just gonna. They're gonna. I wouldn't be shocked if they go up. They're gonna keep putting the gas to the gas to the pedal, or pedal to the gas, whatever it's called.
Pedal to the metal.
Pedal to the gas. Pedal to the metal. Yeah, whatever. But anyways, yeah, London. He's the alpha wide receiver there. I like the Mooney call too. I mean, maybe I don't think any of us would ever stack that though. We just have him with one off. So I am not playing Michael Penix. I'm done. I'm not.
I might. I was gonna say this might be the lowest ownership, and he's much better also at home at 5,100. This could be that Russell Wilson play from 2 weeks ago, right? Everybody wrote him off. They're like ready for them to move on, and then he drops like a 30.
Yeah, I love it. We do have another season-long question in here. I know this is DFS. We try to get to all the questions here. He's talking about a recent trade that he made, Gerson. Recently traded Chase Brown and Bowers to get Genty and Mbuka. What are your thoughts on that trade there?
I mean, it depends on if it's dynasty, tight end premium.
I think it's redraft half PPR 12.
Oh, he did say that?
Yeah.
Oh, I see it now. 12-man, half PPR. Oh, yeah. I'll take the Genty and a Mbuka side. I think Chase Brown is terrible. He's going to keep doing terrible, too. I mean, unless Russell Wilson arrives, I can't see that Bengals offense functioning at all very well. I mean, Chase Brown has I mean, I know we're a DFS podcast and he's not on the slate, but Chase Brown, this is an incredible stat, by the way. He has negative 54 yard before contact. Negative 54 yards. That is incredible. Like, how do you suck that bad? Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I'm out on Chase Brown this year. I didn't really dash him very much either.
Genty and Mbuka are both on the way up.
Agreed.
So I think that works better for you. You're getting them before the breakout.
Yeah, the only way I
would like both of them this week, to be honest. A lot.
Yeah, and the only reason why I would even consider the other one if it was tight end premium with Bowers, but it's not. So, I mean, tight ends are tight ends.
Right.
Give me the running back and the wide receiver over the tight end any day. So, yeah, Genty and Mbuka, great trade for sure.
Sure.
All right, let's get to – actually, we still got a couple more guys I wanted to mention, then we'll get to the defenses. We had mentioned Io Manor, who was Tim's sick call last week. Now he has made it to the actual sheet. Anything you want to say about him before we get to the defenses?
Yeah, that I expect Derek Stingley to play and be on Calvin Ridley. And I think if that doesn't work out that way, that he's already seeing about a 27% target share, and he'll get a much better matchup.
Love it. Love it. All right, let's get to the defenses.
Defense, 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 defense.
All right, Tim.
I think this is a week you can afford to pay up at defense. I think all the best defenses really are pay up defenses. I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. The battle of the two 0-3 teams. Houston's at home, and they need a win. That franchise, they are desperate, and they get the perfect matchup against Cam Ward, who is a turnover machine right now. So yeah, I think. What'd you guys say?
A sack taking machine too.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it sets up so well for Houston. They're already a pretty decent defense, and then they get the best possible matchup. So yeah, I'm going to be heavily exposed to them. The other team I kind of like is the Falcons for the same reasons we just talked about. Mariota is taken over, and he doesn't have Terry McLaurin this week. So I'm going to probably be at least 30% on both of those defenses, then mix in a couple of the cheaper guys.
Yeah, I like it. And I'm also on the Falcons as well. And like you mentioned, no Jaden Daniels, no Terry McLaurin, no Ja'Cory Krosky-Tart. I think he's also questionable to play. Even if he plays, he hasn't been great. Their running game is kind of dead. So yeah, I think the Falcons could be a sneaky play at 2.7 as well. And then Gerson, you have Detroit on your list there. Give me your thoughts on Detroit.
Yeah, I've been following social media quite a bit with this, but there's a lot of narrative going on here. They're talking crap about defense. The run game is not that great. Well, they haven't seen a run game like ours. Well, you guys haven't seen it's like it's gonna get very interesting, that game. And I think that pass rush is gonna put a lot more pressure on Joe Flacco. I know we haven't. I'm waiting for that Flacco game where he just shits the bed. And if there's any game or any team that can put a lot of pressure on him, it's going to be this game. I mean, I get that the defense of the Browns done amazing, the run defense, but I don't care about the defense. I care about turnovers, interceptions, and whatnot. And if they get after Flacco, they are expensive, though, $3.5K. It's not cheap, but what's their ownership right now? That's what that's why main reason I don't think.
Pull it up now. I don't think they're very high. I don't remember seeing them on the list. Detroit, actually, they're fourth. They're fourth highest right now at 8.5%.
Okay. So yeah, I thought it was gonna be sneakier, but yeah, I mean 3.5K. I think my favorite defense though is definitely the Texans. So that defense, I can see them creating havoc, and they gotta win. I mean, that. I don't think you'll fire the coach, but I mean, there'll be changes made somewhere
for sure.
Yeah, I'll just say real quick on RG, they currently have the Saints as the highest owned defense at min 2K. Do not do that. Like, you realistically could get negative points there. Okay, at least if you can get up to the Titans at 2,300, they're like locked in to give you at least a positive score. But yeah, I think if you realistically play the Browns or would I just say the Saints? You're looking at probably getting negative there. So it's just not worth it.
Yep. Don't get cute, as they say in the podcast.
Yep.
All right. Let's get to our stacks.
And now, the stacks of the week.
All right, Gerson, go ahead and give us yours since you've pretty much given yours away the whole podcast anyway.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go to that Raiders game. I was going to go to Caleb, but you guys beat me to the sheet. Like I said.
Go ahead. Go ahead. That's fine.
But yeah, I have Geno, Myers, Bowers, and Odunze. Bringing back with Odunze. I was gonna put my sick call in there, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about it later.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, mine as well. All of our sick calls could be part of our stacks, so I love it.
Nailed it.
All right, Tim, what you got for your stack?
Yeah, I'm going on the other side. I'm going with Caleb to Rome Odunze, and the only reason is because I do think that there's a chance of the Genty breakout game. So Caleb, Rome, Ashton Genty.
Ooh, I love it. All right, my stack is Justin Herbert, who was my lock of the week, Amarion Hampton, who was Gerson's lock of the week, and Keenan Allen, copy paste. Bringing
Yep.
it with neighbors if you want to go on the high end. Gerson mentioned Wanda Robinson earlier. You can go with him as well. And then you can also go with my sit call, which we'll get to here in just a second.
And now, the sick call of the week.
And I'll just roll right into it. My sit call is if you don't play Dynasty, you might not even know what who his name is. But this is Aronde Gatson, who was a very popular name in Dynasty circles. Very athletic tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Play the first 2 weeks because he is a rookie and just could not get on the field, but got on the field for the first time last week and had 7 targets right off the bat, 46 yards. He had 5 catches. And like I said, very athletic at 2.6. We like to pay down at tight end. I think it's very possible that he smashes that 2.6 price point. Justin Herbert had a press conference where he talked this guy up and how well he's doing.
Harbaugh, too. He said he earned more work. He got 7 targets in his first game, and he earned more work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So I love that. You can throw Gadsden on the back of my stack there and be happy with it as well. So Gadsden 2.6. And I'm the only one that has not hit a sit call yet. So hopefully Gadsden is the one that pulls through.
I like this one a lot.
All right, Tim, why don't you go to you? Give me your sit call.
Yeah, I changed mine. It really depends. It's kind of cheating, but it really depends if Colston Loveland plays. If he plays, he got a limited practice in today. If not, I am going to be heavily overweight on Cole Kmet. He's already been running more routes and playing more snaps than Colston Loveland. If he goes out, it's like the Brock Bowers situation, but at 3K. It's a great schematic matchup. We talked about that earlier. And if you do Caleb with Cole Kmet, you can really fill in whatever you want in the rest of the lineup. So I want Colston to get healthy, take a week off, rest that shoulder, let Komet run all the routes, and baby, we're going to the moon.
Love it. I love it. And yeah, obviously you did the Bear stack. So yeah, Cole Kmet can go on your stack. Gadsden can go on.
That's exactly right.
Gerson, you had the Raider stack. So who do you have going into yours?
Yeah, I have Mr. 44 points last week, Trey Tucker. Yeah, I kind of shocked that I see Trey Tucker on RotoGrinder at, I think, 2%. I was like, that makes some sense to me, especially in this matchup, because as we know, we talked about the downfield passes, the deep balls, and Trey Tucker is a specialist at that. He's fast. He
didn't know who he was, by the way.
Huh?
He's Will Fuller.
Yes.
I thought about this week. Trey Tucker is Will Fuller.
Yeah.
Because you start thinking like that guy can't play every snap. And then he just started playing every snap. And you're like, well, he can't keep doing this.
And then he keeps doing it as long as he can stay healthy.
Yeah, but
dude, that's who I thought of last week. I was like, it's Will Fuller, man. It's the same dude. Sorry, go ahead.
He's 4.2K. Gino's going to target that down the field. Gino's just launching it, and he's going to keep doing it. It's a sick call, though. Like, he could legit be we already seen it. He's given you 2 points in one game, I believe. So it's all up and down. But at home, I'm excited. I think this game, I'm not lying to you guys. I might do 75 rosters of Caleb Williams and 75 rosters of Geno Smith. Wow. Watch the Raiders game, and then kind of like, I'll know how much beer I need to drink by the end of the day.
There you go.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right, that wraps the podcast up, fellas. Thank you for joining the chat, everybody in the chat. Jamie, I just saw jumped in there. Appreciate y'all checking us out. So we'll go around the room really quick. Give us any parting thoughts, anything you wanted to mention. We'll go to you first, Tim.
Yeah, just DraftKings group or DFS roundtable. I'm now doing my thread in both every single week. So certainly hop in those groups to interact with everyone in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. He puts
Otherwise, check me.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you can also find me on Twitter at Keto DFS.
Yep, absolutely. He puts that thread up in both of those Facebook groups, and it's a lot of awesome information. So if you're not in there, go join. That's DraftKings group or DFS roundtable. Gerson, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really got much going on. I'm so busy with work and life, guys. But Yeah, you can find me at Fantasy G DFS. Basically here every Friday. But I'm excited, man. I feel like this is a good week. I am hoping for a lot more value to open up, though. I'm hoping something happens, and a value opens up because I don't see a 3K, 4K wide receiver or running. Well, I see a bunch of running backs, but I mean, that little flexibility, a little bit, you can pay up for Taylor, McCaffrey, and them. But yeah, that's it.
Good stuff. As always, guys, you can find me on Twitter at Geoff Lambert77. I'm also in the DraftKings group and DFS Roundtable as well. And I wanted to plug the website one more time. FantasyHof.goingfor2.com. It is the Fantasy Football Hall of Fame that I created. Go check it out. A lot of cool things there. Some new content coming out soon. Again, that is FantasyHof.goingfor2.com. For Gerson, for Tim, I'm Geoff, and we will see y'all next week. And good luck in week 4.
Go back, go!
Peace.